10 bitter truths you should know before 30. If you're in your 20s and watching this video, this is probably the most important thing you'll hear all year. Your 20s are the most beautiful stage of life, but they're also the most dangerous. That's because you've got enough energy to run, but not enough experience to know where you're running to. And for many today, age 30 isn't a milestone of maturity. It's the moment they sit back, look in the mirror, and ask themselves, what have I been doing for the last 10 years? Today, I'm going to be blunt, no sugarcoating, no hollow encouragement. Here are 10 truths that most young people only learn after they've already paid the price. Listen to the end. Then, decide what you're going to do with it. Truth 1. No one owes you anything. Your parents don't owe you a comfortable life. Your friends don't owe you loyalty. The company doesn't owe you an opportunity. And society certainly doesn't owe you recognition. You were born. That's the starting point. The rest is your own responsibility. It might sound cold, but this is the foundation of true freedom. When you stop waiting for others to do something for you, that's when you start doing it yourself. And when you do it yourself, you're finally truly living. The consequence of not understanding this, you'll be constantly disappointed with your parents, your friends, your company, and with love, because you were always holding on to expectations that no one ever agreed to. Today, write down 3 things you're secretly waiting for others to do for you. Then ask, can I do that myself? Truth 2. This world isn't fair, and it doesn't care that you exist. Whether you're born into a poor or rich family, you don't get to choose. Born in the city or the countryside, you don't get to choose. Being born with a certain appearance, IQ, or any specific starting point, none of those were your choices. That's the truth. And it's not fair, not at all. But here's what few people add. The world doesn't care whether you feel it's unfair or not, either. Rivers don't flow slower just because you're tired. Opportunities don't wait until you're ready. And the labor market doesn't pity the degree you spent 4 years earning if it no longer has value. Research from the Harvard Business Review indicates that sustainably successful people aren't those who complain the least, but those who adapt the fastest. Stop comparing starting points. Start comparing the speed of adaptation. That's the only thing you can actually control. Truth 3. You're not as special as you think. This sounds really irritating. I know, but try looking at it head on. There are millions of people your age, graduating from the same colleges, dreaming of the same success, all thinking they're different from the crowd. You're not the exception, at least, not yet. That feeling of being special that your parents, teachers, and social media built up in you for 20 years was a good protective tool when you were a kid. But as an adult, it becomes a trap. It makes you think you deserve something without having to fight for it. The truth is, being special isn't an innate state. It's a result of practice, of persistence, and of thousands of hours of working in silence. Ask yourself, if you stripped away your entire CV, your titles, and your reputation, what truly unique thing would you have left? That answer tells you what you need to do next. Truth 4. Success is 99% sweat. No real shortcuts actually exist. You see a 25-year-old on TikTok talking about making hundreds of millions a month. You see someone become an overnight success. You see startups valued at billions after just a few years. And you think, why can't I? What you don't see are the 7 years of failure before that. The sleepless nights, the times they nearly went bankrupt, the relationships that fell apart because they were too focused on work. There are no shortcuts. There's only a long road that looks short because you only see the destination, not the journey. After 30 years of research, psychologist Anders Ericsson concluded that to reach a high level of mastery in any field, you need a minimum of 0 hours of deliberate practice. 10,000 hours, at 4 hours of practice every day, that's nearly 7 years. Pick a core skill, commit to it for at least 2 years. Don't jump to something else the moment you feel stuck. Truth 5. Time is the only thing you can't buy back, and you're wasting it. Lost money can be earned back. Poor health can be improved. A strained relationship can be mended. But once a day is gone, it never comes back. Your 20s to 30s are the golden years of your life. Your brain is at its peak learning capacity. Your body is in its best condition. You don't have as many ties as you'll have with children, a spouse, or greater responsibilities. This is the time to build, not to drift. Yet, the average young person spends over 4 hours a day on social media. 4 hours times 365 days. Times 10 years, that's over 0 hours. That's equivalent to more than a master's degree, 2 bachelor's degrees, or becoming fluent in 2 foreign languages combined. You aren't short on time. You're giving it away for free. Install a screen time tracker. Look at the data. Then ask yourself, is this how you want to spend your golden decade? Truth 6. Your health is declining, and you don't even realize it. At 22, you stay up until 2 a.m., eat instant noodles, drink beer, and you're still fine the next morning. Your body recovers fast. You don't feel the consequences immediately. But your body doesn't forget, it keeps score, and by age 30 or 35, it starts to collect the debt. The rates of people suffering from liver disease, cardiovascular issues, and type 2 diabetes are rising significantly in the 30 to 45 age group, and the trend is getting younger every year. Much of that stems from lifestyle choices made in your 20s. You can't buy back a morning where you wake up without back pain. You can't buy back a sharp mind once you've overabused it. Health isn't something you build once it's lost. It's something you've got to protect before it's gone. Get 7 hours of sleep. Walk for 30 minutes a day. Cut out one bad habit this month. Just one. Start there. Truth 7. Most relationships are conditional. This is a truth that few people want to say out loud because it sounds so cold. But it's true. Most friends will stay as long as you're fun, successful, or useful to them. When you fail, when you need help, or when you no longer provide value, many of them will vanish. No drama. They're just simply not there anymore. Love isn't immune, either. Many young romances fall apart not because of a lack of feeling, but because the two people no longer fit when circumstances change. This doesn't mean you've got to live in suspicion and guard yourself against everyone. It just means, stay sharp. Don't base your entire identity on a relationship. Don't lose yourself just to keep someone else. The best relationships are the ones where both people grow, not where one person is consumed to feed the other. Look back at your list of close friends. Who's there because of who you truly are? And who's there because of something you're providing? Truth 8. You've got to take 100% responsibility for your own life. Difficult family circumstances, true. An unfavorable economy, true. Opportunities don't come to everyone equally, true. It's all true, and none of that is a good enough reason for you to give up control over your life. Because here's what happens when you blame others. You hand your power over to them. You're saying, my life is like this because of them, because of the circumstances, because of bad luck. And from that moment on, you're no longer the driver, you're just a passenger. There are people born in much worse situations than yours who still find a way to stand up. It's not because they're luckier, it's because they refuse to be a victim of their own story. You can't choose your starting point, but you can choose your next step. The next time you want to blame someone or something, stop and ask, in this situation, what can I control? Then go do that. Truth 9. Money doesn't buy happiness, but a lack of money buys a lot of misery. This is a quote people often cite halfway and then stop. Money doesn't buy happiness. True, but it's incomplete, because a lack of money truly buys a lot of misery. Not being able to pay rent, not being able to take your parents for a medical checkup, having no options when a job is terrible but you've still got to cling to it because you're afraid of losing your income. Money isn't the destination, but it's the foundation. Without that foundation, you'll spend most of your energy just surviving instead of actually living. Research from Princeton University, updated in 2021, indicates that emotional happiness correlates strongly with income, especially at low to middle levels. A lack of money creates chronic stress, affecting your health, relationships, and decision-making abilities. Your 20s aren't the time to just live for the moment while ignoring your finances. It's the time to build your foundation, set up a basic budget, save at least 20% of your income, learn about an investment channel. No matter how small, start today, even with a very tiny amount. Truth 10. You're going to be lonely, and that's an unavoidable part of growing up. This is the final truth, and perhaps the heaviest one. When you truly mature, not in terms of age, but in mindset and values, you'll realize that not everyone can walk that path with you. The close friends you had at 18 might no longer fit your life at 28. It's not because anyone's a bad person, it's because you've grown in different directions. That's normal, but it still hurts. And there's one more thing. Even you will change so much that sometimes you won't recognize the person you were 5 years ago. The old you inside will gradually fade away, and you've got to learn not to fear that. Maturing is a continuous process of moving away from old versions of yourself. It's lonely, it's sometimes disorienting, but it's a sign that you're actually moving forward. Learn to sit alone without needing to fill the space with your phone or noise. High-quality solitude teaches you more than any conversation ever could. 10 truths, none of them are easy to hear, but I'll sum it up in a single sentence. Knowing early means less pain after 30. There's nothing wrong with being young and not knowing much, but there's a lot wrong with having the chance to know and choosing not to listen. Today, you're facing a very simple choice. Know now, or wait until you're 30 to learn the hard way by paying the price yourself. If you want to start changing, you don't need to change everything all at once. Try this challenge, 30 days, applying one truth each day. Observe how your life changes. It doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to start. And before you go, I want to ask one sincere question. Out of those 10 truths, which one hit you the hardest? And are you ready to face it? Leave your answer in the comments. I read every single one. If this video was helpful, share it with a friend in their 20s. It might be exactly what they need to hear today. See you in the next video.